Hi there, I'm Skye, and normally I just record videos about new music that's just come out. I record immediately after getting off an elliptical at the YMCA. That's why it's called Sweaty Record Reviews. And I give my sort of first take. And I've never reviewed a movie before. But I've been going crazy this week, okay? Last week I saw Bohemian Rhapsody, and I've been reading the criticism ever since. What do people want from this movie? What do they want? What do they expect? Okay, I'm going to take all the criticisms of the movie and I'm going to hope you understand how this works for a biopic of Queen, okay? It's very, very gay, but not quite overtly gay enough. It has an extremely charismatic lead singer capable of inhuman feats who's backed up by talented, entirely necessary, but sort of bland backups. There are amazing highs, some of the greatest moments you could ever possibly imagine, and then there's a ton of just kind of formulaic cheese that you go like, how did this get in there next to such greatness? I have just described the band Queen. I have also just described the band Bohemian Rhapsody. It's the same thing. You know what? The problem is they shouldn't have called it Bohemian Rhapsody. They should have called it Queen the Movie. Because like Queen, great singer, amazing music, high highs, low lows, and lots of stuff in between. Bohemian Rhapsody is a perfect song, maybe the best song ever written. I would make that argument. For a movie to call itself Bohemian Rhapsody, for a movie to be that good, would be next to impossible, because that song is just that good. So I don't know. I just get frustrated, you know? Because like, what do people want from a movie? I mean, I went there with my kids and with my dad, and I grew up in an environment, both societally in the 80s in Boston, and familially that I would say was occasionally overtly homophobic and always with an undercurrent of homophobia everywhere. And we went and we watched this movie, and to me, I think this is going to do more for homosexuality in movies than any movie that came before, even more than Brokeback Mountain, because it completely normalizes it. You're there, you're watching a PG-13 popcorn movie, and there's a guy cruising for dudes in an underground gay club in New York in the 70s. And the reviews that I read that were negative were saying it didn't go far enough. What do you people want? What do you want them like actually in the bathroom or in the room or tied up or whatever? Or Sacha Baron Cohen said he used to run around with midgets with cocaine on their head, and that's what he wants to see. No, that would have been rated NC-17, that would have been rated R, that wouldn't have reached the people. Like Queen, it manages to be very gay, but still inviting and not alienating. It brings people in. It allows people to see the conflict. It treats homosexuality not like some kind of curse or like not some kind of mark of identity that permanently tells you what you can and cannot do and how you'll be judged. He's never a victim in the entire movie. He's just somebody who's trying to figure out who he is. And then, I was listening to the Rolling Stone podcast, which is normally great. And they were like snarkily talking like, they had some good moments amongst all the dreck. I mean, sure, the movie expresses the greatness of rock and roll and how it actually feels to watch rock and roll for the only time in the history of cinema and gives you the majesty of rock. But some of it was cheesy. Oh, and some of it was out of order. Who cares? Do I care when Brian May wrote We Will Rock You? Does it matter if it was 1980 or 1977? Not even. It was a movie made by people who make movies. And the dramatic choices that they made were strong. This movie had me feeling so much. It had me loving Queen more than I've ever loved them. I mean, I grew up in such a homophobic environment, I don't think I ever would have allowed myself to even like them. It made me fall in love with their music. It made me love Freddie Mercury even more. It was just great. And it was totally enjoyable. And it was totally inclusive. And yeah, it had all the cliches of a rock biopic. All the little nitpicks you can make, Mr. Music Person, you can go ahead and say it. But what have you done? You've put down a movie that has done things that no other movie has ever done before. It's completely mainstreamed extreme homosexual behavior. It has completely encapsulated the feeling of an arena rock band as they make that music. How do they feel when they feel it? You actually feel like you're there with Freddie Mercury, like you actually are Freddie Mercury at times. Anyways, all right. I mean, I grew up with The Doors, you know? That's a very similar movie, but just not as good. The same thing, like you feel like it, but they fudge all the details. But everyone loves The Doors. Everyone poops on Bohemian Rhapsody. Okay, I don't even know if I'm going to post this. If I should, thumbs it up it. If I don't, thumbs it down it. I don't care. I'm going back to listen to new music. All right. And if you only, this is the only time you ever watch the show, my catchphrase is stupid. It goes like this. There's the camera.